Hey everybody, Brian Good here, filling in for Kevin in the next few days. You'll be here on Wednesday, by the way, but I'll be here otherwise for the week. And here's an update on what we're looking at. First off, the weekly update came in when it comes to the ocean process patterns, when it comes to El Nino, La Nina. That comes out every Monday. And the report came out today, and clearly you can see the cooling that is taking place here in the Eastern Pacific. So we're listed in neutral, but we're very close. In fact, about half a degree of getting to the point of reaching La Nina status, which I think we'll do probably in the next update, weak La Nina. But we're pretty much in a neutral state at the moment. When you look at the average closer to home here, we've got warm waters around our area as well. The Gulf is running slightly above normal, quite a bit above normal in the Atlantic. And notice off the coast of Africa, not exactly a prime setup yet for tropical cyclones get going there. Usually that's later in September into October. That becomes more active. But if anything develops here locally, it's going to be from these fronts moving through that stalls out in the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, or the Atlantic that can easily develop into something stronger or tropical in nature. But with so many fronts moving through, very little chance of anything really impacting the United States of this kind of a pattern. Looking ahead, we'll talk more about this when I do the winter preview on the 13th of July, but you already see that the forecast model is taking us into La Nina territory, and we'll cover that in more detail when I do that update on the 13th. Good and bad on that, I'll say. We've had some very warm winters when we've done La Nina. We've had some big snows as well, so we'll go into more detail on the 13th, but just letting you know that we are flipping from one to the other, from one season to the other, or winter season to the other. All right, so here's our headline this week. Here's a look at your humidity tracker. You already got the orange as we're talking about muggy, humid air. Even green is considered humid, but once you get in the blue, that's the more refreshing air. But notice the humid air is still up here to our north. That's where our next cold front is. It's going to be moving its way in the next 24 hours. You can see it outlined pretty well here with the cloud cover. Once that front moves in, then we'll get that blue, pleasant air to overtake the area. In fact, by the time it arrives on Wednesday, here's a latest look at the forecast highs Wednesday afternoon. This is with blue sky. Upper 70s to the north. Here in Louisville, about 80, 78 Tell City. Pair of 7s around us in the city. 77 very common. E-Town, Campbellsville. 78 even in Columbia. And then even Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Forecast lows on some of the model data we're getting. Look at Bedford, Indiana. Maybe a 49. Woo! Some free AC. I hate to say that. It's such a horrible weather cliche, but that's the way it's looking. So Wednesday, tomorrow will be bad, but tomorrow will be warm and slightly humid. Slightly. Wednesday is a beautiful day. Thursday would be beautiful. Friday, another cold front arrives. This front is going to be a thorn in our side because it will slide down from the north as we into Friday afternoon, evening. Best chance for thunderstorms would be closer to where that front is Friday afternoon, evening. Very little, if any, chance locally. But then the front's going to keep sliding to the south and eventually stall out over Kentucky. Question is it going to be central Kentucky, southern Kentucky, or is it going to go all the way down into Tennessee? That's important because the front, when it begins to stall out and become stationary, areas of low pressure, especially one in particular over the weekend, are going to ride along that boundary. And as that happens, you'll get a surge of heavy rain, some showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, it's only scattered activity when that low is not around. So this becomes a train track for storm systems to track along. The further you are away from it, especially the north, the drier you will be. The more you're closer to it or right on it, the wetter you will be for the holiday weekend. One thing that's concerning is we head into the 4th of July itself. Another stronger low begins to show up here. You know, that does not look good. As we head into 4th of July, based on the GFS anyway, this low will likely try to pull it north as a warm front again and begin to move the front back through the area. But still a lot of questions on how this is going to evolve, so I'm going to keep the rain chances low for now. And I will take this a day at a time, and I suggest you do the same thing when it comes to your plans for the holiday weekend. Don't change them. Just know in the back of your mind that there is a front in the area that we need to watch when it comes to rain. And this could be nighttime and daytime kind of rain. All right, this is not limited to just the heat of the day kind of stuff either. So we'll watch it carefully all the way through Friday through 4th of July. In fact, the Weather Prediction Center has already issued a band here over central Kentucky for heavy rain starting on Saturday and Sunday for the weekend. So they're seeing the same thing. And here's the issue. Here's a cool map. This is from the Euro Ensemble. We call these spaghetti plots because it looks like a bunch of spaghetti. And there's different levels here you are looking at. overall theme I want you guys to get from this. This is your jet that provides you the beautiful air, the cool air, less humid. This is your humid jet. Anywhere along and south of that is where it gets hot and humid. So you can tell as we went into Wednesday that we got that polar jet influence in our area, and that's why it's going to be cooler and drier. All that humid air, thunderstorm action, pushed to our south. But then as we went into the holiday weekend, the model has lower confidence the further you go out in time. So that's why the spaghettis get a little crazy here. But you can see the problem. It definitely knows there's going to be a front in the area, but it doesn't know where to put it. It's struggling. It doesn't look like it's going to be across central and northern Indiana. There's very few of the purple lines through there. But there are quite a few over Kentucky and Tennessee. So it's somewhere in our area is where the front will likely stall out here with showers and thunderstorms rolling through. We're just going to have to watch this carefully as we head into the upcoming weekend. Now, beyond that, I will say this. This is going to loop here several times, but notice we're going to keep seeing these waves of cool air and cold fronts that come through the Midwest, the Great Lakes area, and then they move into the eastern part of the country, at least the Ohio Valley into the Northeast. That keeps us in a setup here where we're going to get heat surges, humid air. We jump into the 90s. Then we get a round of thunderstorms to the front. Then we drop back down to slightly lower, if not dramatically lower, humidity values, cooler temperatures, and then bump back up again. And really looking in the longer term, I just don't see a whole lot. In fact, the new Euro long term just came out. I can't show you the maps, but it just came out a few moments ago. And I was looking at it all the way through into August. And it was still showing that we have a weakness in the Great Lakes and Northeast to allow more of these fronts to come through. But it doesn't mean you can't get heat waves. You can. It can get downright hot. The chance of us hitting 100 degrees is slim, though. When you get that much activity going on, you get the green that we got out there now, the wet ground, you're going to have high levels of heat indices. The heat index is going to be a problem, but the actual temperature is really going to struggle to get above that 95 that's been our max so far this season. So the only way we're going to get hotter than 95 is we got to get some dry stretches of air to develop. And though some of you that want to get stuff done outside have activities planned, and you farmers as well, like at least some period to take care of their crops, but they don't want really long periods here of dry weather, because if you do, you develop a drought status rather rapidly, especially late July and August. So you don't want it to be dry too long because that heat will build in. But we can't rule that out yet. But at this point, just by looking at the long-term data, I just don't see that happening anytime soon. All right, guys, that's it for now. I'll see you guys at 11 o'clock, and then I need to go to bed. If you can't tell already, I think I need to. Take care.